Welcome back, guys, to Mini Talks, where I have a mini talk for you, probably about 15 minutes or less every Monday. So make sure you tune into that. Also, check out my other episodes. I have some guest appearances by certain people. If you're on YouTube, iTunes, whatever the platform, go check out the previous podcast. But today, I'm going to get into something that's personal to me, and we're going to talk about allergies, and not a broad topic of allergies. I'm going to narrow it down because to eczema. Allergies, I've always had food allergies, contact allergies to different things. But food allergies can be sometimes confusing, especially when they're changing ingredients of foods and using different bases to make just a rash of different types of foods that are found on the market. And probably it may have been a year or something like that ago. Specifically, I noticed more in lockdown. I was having more problems with the allergy of rearing its ugly head in the way of eczema. And if you don't know what eczema is, go look it up. It's basically a rash that you can get on your body. It itches. Most babies have those types of allergies. Some of you are probably familiar with it, and it is an autoimmune. So, taking time to deal with things about your immune system, it was something that I put under the microscope to find out more information about, because I'd had problems with it in the past. I've been able to find out what causes it. They call those your triggers. And this time I had trouble narrowing down the triggers, so I had to narrow the foods that I was eating, pay attention to the contact I was making, whether it's inside or outside. There's a lot of other factors that kind of go into it, but I was leaning towards the food allergy. But it was complicated because I don't eat that many foods, so I went on the hunt for some different types of ingredients in the foods that I was eating and looked at some of my old allergies. And those old allergies include like milk and eggs, because when I was a kid, I couldn't eat those things. Now I can. But it's not something that I go to consume. But knowing those were two of the primary suspects, it made me look at the protein that I was eating. Also made me look at some different candies that I was eating. Also looked at some different types of crackers, chips, and things like that I was eating. So knowing some of those have a wheat base, they're not so much soy based. But I noticed on my protein, it's, most of that is milk and soy. And that's the primary food that I eat. Because looking at your health, protein is, one of the numbers that you're supposed to consume the most of for health. So milk, not too much suspect of that. So I took a look at the soy first, because I noticed that was a common ingredient kind of across the board. And it became a process of me eliminating the soy first. And lo and behold, I got a big response out of that. It was probably just a couple of days. My eczema stopped itching and stopped flaring up and started the healing process. It just like after the first 24 hours, I felt the difference. So more research began on the elements of soy. You're gonna find elements of soy in things like I looked around the house. I have graham crackers. Obviously, chocolates have soy in them. Nutella has soy in it. There's usually your cereals or your almond milks and things like that really have high protein. If they have a high protein source and it comes from a seed or something, it probably contains soy, because they can boost up the protein numbers in there. And it's not that soy is everybody's enemy, but it is one of my enemies, and my body doesn't like it. And I'm hoping to some of these things, hoping for better comfort in eliminating soy out. And like in protein, they use what they call soy lecithin, and you'll find this soy lecithin in a lot of different things because it's an emulsifier. So it helps hold things together, like chocolate and things like that. So if you see the ingredient of soy lecithin, most likely it has other soy sources in the food. So it's something to watch out for if you have allergy, is to always read your ingredients, read your labels. You want to, your go-to foods you want to have as, when you turn on the back and read the label, you want to have the least amount of ingredients as possible. And when I'm reading ingredients for protein, you'll find those ingredients in there. And it's one of the reasons that I made the switch from a milk and soy protein, like a powder protein, to like a vegan type of protein, or you can say vegetarian type of protein, something that doesn't have soy in it. And you're going to find less soy or no soy in like a vegan product, and no gluten. You're going to find, or you're not going to find those things in there. But if you're just looking for the product, a powder protein product that specifically doesn't have any soy at all, you really have to look into a manufacturer of a protein powder that's the only type of protein powder they specialize in, is like a vegan. Because if you get it from another one of these companies that make a concentrated protein and they use soy, milk, and those products, they may make a vegan protein, but it's still going to have trace amounts in it. If it just has trace amounts, they don't have to report it, but they give you, a lot of places will give you warnings on the labels, and it's common now that you see that on peanut products, factories that manufacture foods, and they also have some type of peanut oil or anything in it. They'll specify what it's made with peanuts. Products have gotten a lot better about putting little allergy warnings on there about peanuts and soy and milk and things like that. Sometimes you find them in bold-faced print. So make sure you're reading your labels. And that kind of leads me into like eggs. You're not going to find ingredients on eggs. But if you do your research there, all eggs contain soy. Now you get some eggs where they'll claim, they're farm fresh, they're fed this, fed that, they're, no soy products. But the egg is still going to contain soy. So if you're eating like a chicken fried rice or beef fried rice or something like that, and it's got soy sauce in it, or it has some type of egg in it, you're going to be consuming that soy along with it. If it has a, high source of eggs or any kind of soy sauce or something like that. So if you have the contact allergies, or just something's just not sitting quite right with you about your foods that you're consuming, and you're getting like an adverse reaction in some way, it's possible that it's allergy related. And it's sometimes you have to put two and two together. You may have just an ailment that you don't even relate back to food, but you've developed this allergy over time, or it's something that's in the food that's not, it's not agreeing with you. So it's something that you should pay attention to for your health benefits, to know to stay away from these certain foods and find other substitutions that you can put into place. And that, that means it's going to be for some time and consuming process, but others may be, quicker than others. But it's just my experience of eliminating the allergens out of my diet and creating a better health atmosphere, especially considering the eczema was autoimmune, because I want my immune system to be operating at the highest levels. I still feel like they're at a high level, but after that, and I feel so much better now, and there's less stress, so it's an improvement, and it's something that you need to take a look at. And on that note, I'll get out of here. Catch me next Monday for another episode of Mini Talks.